You've been protecting yourself from the wrong things. Your whole life, everything around you has been designed to make things easier, softer, more comfortable. The bed got warmer, the chair got more cushioned, the food got faster, the entertainment got more addictive. Every inconvenience in your life has been engineered away one by one until you live in a world so smooth, so frictionless, so endlessly comfortable that you have completely lost your ability to handle anything hard, and you don't even realize it. You wonder why a bad day at work wrecks your entire week. You wonder why a single rejection sends you spiraling. You wonder why you can't stick to anything difficult for more than a few days before the discomfort becomes unbearable and you find a reason, a very logical, very reasonable sounding reason, to stop. It's not weakness. It's not a character flaw. It's what happens when a human being is never exposed to real friction, when every hard edge has been padded, when suffering has been treated as the enemy instead of the teacher. Your mind is soft, not because you are soft, but because you have never been given a reason to make it hard. Today, that changes. Today, we talk about one of the most powerful concepts ever put into words, the idea that your mind, just like your hands, just like your body, can develop calluses. A hardness that doesn't make you cold, a durability that doesn't make you cruel, a capacity to face difficulty, real difficulty, sustained difficulty, without being broken by it. Callous your mind. Think about what a callus actually is. When you do hard physical work, when you grip a bar, when you swing a hammer, when you push through something that tears at your skin, your body responds. It sends resources to the damaged area. It rebuilds, and when it rebuilds, it builds back thicker, harder, more resistant to the thing that damaged it. Your hands, after months of hard work, don't look like the hands of someone who has never worked. They are proof. Physical, undeniable proof that the body was challenged and responded. Your mind works exactly the same way. Every time you push through something that your mind wants to run from, every time you stay in the discomfort instead of escaping it, every time you do the hard thing when every part of you is screaming to stop, your mind is being damaged in the best possible way. And when it rebuilds harder, more capable, less afraid. That is the callus. That is what you are building every single time you choose hard over easy.
And here is the part that will change everything. That callus stays. It accumulates. Every hard thing you push through adds another layer, another degree of hardness, another proof that you can handle more than you thought. Most people never find out what they're actually capable of because they spend their entire lives avoiding the process that would show them. They feel discomfort and they move away from it. They feel resistance and they look for the path of least resistance. They feel fear and they treat it as a stop sign instead of a signal that something important is on the other side. And so they never build the callus. And so every hard thing stays hard. And so they move through life perpetually overwhelmed by difficulty that should, by now, feel manageable. You cannot think your way to mental toughness. You cannot read your way there. You cannot watch enough videos or listen to enough podcasts or have enough conversations about getting better to actually get better. You have to go through things. That is the only path. There is no other way. The callus is built through exposure, through repeated voluntary contact with the things that are hard for you, through choosing again and again to stay in the fire instead of running from it. And this is where most people make the critical mistake. They wait for hard things to happen to them. They wait for life to force them into difficulty. and then they wonder why they handle it so badly, why they fall apart, why they can't seem to hold themselves together when everything is falling apart around them. You cannot wait for the storm to practice standing in the wind. You have to build the callus before you need it, deliberately, intentionally, by seeking out hard things, not because you enjoy suffering, but because you understand what suffering builds. Think about what this looks like practically. The person who takes the cold shower every morning when everything in them screams to turn the heat up, they are not doing it because cold showers are pleasant. They are doing it because they are practicing the act of choosing discomfort over comfort. They are building, in a small way, every single morning, the mental muscle that says, "I decide, not my feelings." The person who wakes up before they want to, not because they have to, but because they chose to, is doing the same thing. The alarm goes off, the bed is warm, every signal says stay, and they get up anyway. Not because getting up feels good, because choosing hard over easy, even in that small moment, is another rep, another layer on the callus.
The person who finishes the workout when they hit the wall, when their lungs are burning and their legs are gone, and their mind is manufacturing 100 reasons why stopping right now is the smart, responsible thing to do, they are not just building physical fitness. They are building the knowledge deep in their bones that they can keep going past the point where the mind says stop. And that knowledge, that lived, earned, undeniable knowledge, transfers to everything. When the hard conversation comes, they have it because they know they can handle discomfort. When the business hits a wall, they push through because they have pushed through walls before. When life falls apart, and at some point for all of us, life falls apart, they do not crumble because they have been building quietly, daily, the inner structure that holds when everything external is shaking. That is what the callus gives you. Not invincibility, not an absence of pain, the ability to function through pain, to keep moving while it hurts, to stay hard when staying hard is the last thing you feel capable of. There is something else nobody talks about when it comes to callousing the mind, the relationship between your identity and your capacity. Most people have a story about themselves, a fixed idea of who they are and what they can handle, and that story, whether they know it or not, acts as a ceiling. It defines the upper limit of what they will attempt, what they will endure, what they believe is possible for them. I'm not the kind of person who wakes up early. I've never been good at pushing through pain. I always quit when things get too hard. These are not facts. These are stories built from a history of choosing soft over hard, and they can be rewritten, but only through action, only through doing the things that contradict the story until the evidence becomes undeniable. Every time you do something your old story said you couldn't do, every time you push past the point where you used to stop, you are not just building a callus on your mind, you are rewriting the story. You are building a new identity, one that is capable of more, one that expects more of itself, one that has proof, real, lived, undeniable proof that it can handle hard things. And identity, once it shifts, is incredibly powerful because you no longer have to fight yourself to do hard things. Hard things become consistent with who you are. They become the standard, and anything below that standard starts to feel wrong, not because someone told you it should, but because you have lived something better and you know the difference. This is the transformation that nobody sees from the outside. This is what is happening underneath all the visible results: the weight lost, the business built, the relationships transformed. Underneath all of it is a mind that has been calloused through repeated, voluntary exposure to difficulty. A mind that has been tested and has held. A mind that trusts itself, because it has earned that trust through 1,000 private moments of choosing hard over easy. You want that. I know you want that. That is why you are here. So here is what I need you to understand. You cannot buy it. You cannot shortcut it.
You cannot get there by reading about it or thinking about it or planning the perfect strategy for eventually getting around to it. You get there by starting today with something hard, something that makes you uncomfortable, something your old story says you can't do. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be 100 miles or a Navy SEAL training program or something that makes a good story at a party. It just has to be hard for you. Real resistance, real discomfort, real contact with the edge of what you currently think you can handle. And then you push past that edge, just a little, just enough to prove to yourself that the edge was further than you thought. And then you do it again tomorrow, and the day after, and every day after that. Layer by layer, rep by rep, the callus builds. And one day, not far from now, closer than you think, you will face something that would have broken the old version of you, something that used to send you into a spiral, something that used to make you run. And you will not run. Not because you don't feel it, you will feel every bit of it, but you will have built something inside yourself that is stronger than the feeling, a hardness that was earned, a durability that was built on purpose, in private, through 1,000 moments of choosing to stay when leaving would have been easier. That is what callousing your mind builds. Not someone who doesn't feel pain, someone who feels it and moves anyway. That person is in you right now. They have always been in you. They are just waiting for you to stop protecting yourself from the things that would bring them out. Stop running from hard. Run toward it. Callous your mind.